Hello and welcome back to Chasing the Target. It's me and Faz today, and we'll be talking cricket. There was no international game today, or there's no India game today, but we'll talk a bit about yesterday, some specifics. Looking at the youngsters, looking at Shubman Gill, looking at Mohammad Siraj as well, and we'll discuss the domestic cricket that's going on as well, and whatever else you want to discuss, we can discuss. Faz, how you doing, man?
I'm going good, man. And yeah, I think it's an important topic today that we're going to be discussing. Obviously, the future generation and of what it lies, going forward, and how we see India, probably hopefully growing in the right way right now. I know there have been a lot of questions from us, from everybody. सब यहाँ यही बोल रहे कि भाई चांसेस नहीं देते, रांची के ऊपर अगर अपन देख रहे हैं काफी प्लेयर्स है, सरफराज है, ईश्वरन है, इतने लोग परफॉर्म करे, लेकिन इन लोगों को जगह नहीं मिल रही, एंड वो कैसा फेयर है, एंड अभी भी आप रोहित शर्मा ऐसे लोगों के साथ चला रहे टीम. बट या आई मीन काफी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है आज, बट या होपफुली लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू इट.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Shubman Gill, we'll talk about Mohammad Siraj, and we'll also talk about the death bowling, which has been a concern. But if we start off with Shubman Gill, it reminds me of when the last World Cup was in India in 2011, when Tendulkar was your main player, and it was his last World Cup. We don't know if this is going to be Virat Kohli's last World Cup, but he is the main player, and he's towards the end. Like we would say, just towards that, he's starting his last phase of his career. And you have Shubman Gill coming up now, just like how Virat Kohli came up in 2011. That's the feeling that I'm getting, the consistency that he's showing. Also, the way he started his career, in Test cricket, Australia mein itna acha khela une. Abhi India mein he's showing consistent performances. He's scoring 100, he scored a double ton, and just his shot selection and run scoring, it's been outstanding. So how do you look at it, and just in general, your thoughts on Shubman Gill?
100%. I think he's following exactly जो विराट कोहली के footsteps थे. He's more or less there under 19 World Cup में भी he performed phenomenally well. विराट कोहली led his side. We know how Sachin Tendulkar was in 2011. अगर अपन शुभमन गिल का अगर अपन, I think he has more to do when you compare it to a Virat Kohli in this side right now. I think he's given more responsibility quicker. I think he's just got it more earlier than a Virat Kohli. 19 ODIs में already had 1,000 runs. There are more expectations than him, because back in the day, obviously, not a lot of more formats were there when you compare it to Shubman Gill's era. A lot of more competition when you compare it to Shubman Gill's era. Maybe it might be unfair to say, but Virat Kohli, I think, थोड़ा और time था उनके पास. He had more time to get used to the conditions and stuff when you compare it to Shubman Gill. So Shubman Gill has really worked his way faster and better, and he's one of India's main man right now, going into this World Cup as well.
Yeah, and I think the consistency that he's shown already, just before the World Cup, Virat Kohli, we saw a few very exciting knocks before the 2011 World Cup. I remember against Sri Lanka 2008-9 में वो जो लंबे चीज़ थे उन्हें वो जबरदस्त खेला था. Lekin he took off after the 2011 World Cup, whereas Shubman Gill is already starting to take off, like you mentioned. And what about the transition also? Virat Kohli was always a middle order batsman, continued to be a middle order batsman. Shubman Gill was a middle order batsman in the under 1911. Now he's an opening batsman. His transition to becoming an opening, I still feel that his best position is in the middle order. Like he did bat one down, so it's not that big of a transition, but it's still a big transition. आप opening जब कर रहे हैं batting.
Obviously difference रहता है opening और middle order में. ये होता है कि भाई middle order obviously new ball रहता, opening में new ball रहता, you can't predict the swing, you can't predict the bounce, कुछ मालूम नहीं रहता आपको. एक middle order batsman को थोड़ा बहुत एक है कि भाई एक 4 बॉल भी बंदा खेले, unless कोई 0 पे आउट हो गया, but you will still understand the बॉल कैसा हिल रहा है, क्या हो रहा है. वो एक बॉल में थोड़ा बहुत फर्क पड़ जाता है कि भाई पिच कैसा रिएक्ट करी. बट आप जब ओपनिंग को जाते, आपको कुछ आइडिया नहीं रहता स्विंग कैसे होने वाली है, मूवमेंट कैसे होने वाला है, पिच क्या बताने वाली है. तो इट इज एन इम्पोर्टेंट ट्रांजिशन, एंड शुभमन गिल, आई थिंक, गिवन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट आजकल के क्रिकेट के हिसाब से, आई थिंक यू जस्ट नीड टू बी फ्लेक्सिबल एवरीवेयर. We have a lot of other players in Deepak Huda who's played, multiple roles. Opening भी करता था कभी, he came in the fifth, sixth भी आता है, third, fourth भी आता है. तो आजकल के क्रिकेट के हिसाब से I think it's a natural thing. But I would like to see Shubman Gill in the top order. He looks more confident than KL Rahul. He looks better right now than even Rohit Sharma at this point of time. So I think Shubman Gill के लिए I think he enjoys. And he, like we know, he likes to take certain time on the ball. थोड़ा बहुत समझने को, he soaks up the conditions and then he starts accelerating, right? Usually लोग बोलते power play में he plays well and then he slows down, but in the yesterday's knock it didn't look like that. I think even in the post match conference उन्हें ये बोल रहा था कि भाई intent बताना जरूरी है bowlers को, क्योंकि आप जहाँ पे इंटेंट बताना छोड़ देते बॉलर को, बॉलर समझता कि मेरे हाथ में आ गया, एंड फिर आप साइकोलॉजिकली यू गेट मेस्ड अप. आई थिंक शुभमन के ये रोल बहुत अच्छे से समझ चुका है कि भाई ओपनर का क्या क्वालिटीज रिक्वायर्ड है, एंड ही इज बैंकिंग ऑन दैट राइट नाउ.
Now, my question for you is this. If you remember 2020 में जो वो कोविड टेस्ट सीरीज था जो इंडिया जीती थी फेमस वाली ऑस्ट्रेलिया में, उसमें शुभमन गिल ओपनिंग कर रहा था, एंड इन दैट गैवा मैच ही हैड a 90 in that last inning. He solved the new ball. Him and पुजारा जो पार्टनरशिप था, बहुत क्रूशियल पार्टनरशिप था वो, and he had an outstanding series. उसके बाद क्या हुआ, इंग्लैंड आई इंडिया, and Shubman Gill did not perform. His average was very low. He was getting single digit scores. उसके एक आध 50 आया था शायद, मगर no big knocks or anything like that. Straight after. Now what happens closer to the World Cup? Now he's in a purple patch. Closer to the World Cup, उसके 5-6 inning आ जाते and he fails. What do you continue to back him based on what he's done so far, or do you look to Gaikwad? Do you look to Ishan Kishan? Because this is a possibility in Indian cricket. आप देखो form जबरदस्त था, मगर sometimes it doesn't last a long time, and it could quickly change. In October we could be talking about somebody else in form and not Shubman Gill.
I think based on, see, if I was a captain, I would look at जिस तरीके से रोहित शर्मा का भी टेम्परामेंट अगर आप देख रहे हैं कि ही लुक्स इट नॉट बेस्ड ऑन जस्ट लाइक फॉर्म, बट ही इज आल्सो लुकिंग एट व्हाट दैट प्लेयर हैज डन, राइट. और अगर अपन शुभमन गिल की बात करें, आई थिंक एट द एंड ऑफ द डे उनके ऊपर भी आके छोड़ देना चाहिए कि भाई वेयर आर यू कंफर्टेबल मोस्ट. आई थिंक राइट नाउ ओपनिंग है. अब टुवर्ड्स द वर्ल्ड कप ऑब्वियसली इट्स अ फार अवे थिंग राइट नाउ. आई कांट प्रोबब्ली लुक that far ahead in the future, but if I was to say, I would continue with Shubman Gill because of what he's just achieved. He's achieved a 200 in India. He's achieved a lot of other things in India. Under 19 में he killed it. अभी ईश्वरन and इन लोगों को कितने proven है on international level अपन नहीं बोल सकते. Right now they've only played.
The reason why I'm asking you this is also अभी 2 हफ्ते पहले श्रीलंका सीरीज से पहले लोग बोल रहे थे भाई ईशान किशन को खिलाना, लाइक शुभमन गिल को क्यों, लाइक वी आल्सो डिस्कस्ड इट. हम लोग भी
100% कंपटीशन देखो, कंपटीशन हर जगह है. यू वुड वांट टू प्ले योर बेस्ट 11 इन एनी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. आई थिंक वो टाइम के हिसाब से अगर अपन देख रहे हैं देन बेस्ट 11 कौन है, देन वो फेयर शाउट देना पड़ेगा ना. अब अगर ही कंसिस्टेंटली एक आध मैच में अगर फेल होता है, देन आई वुड से चलो ठीक है एक आध मैच ही, एंड देन ही अगेन गेट्स बैक इनटू रिदम. अब वो अगेन इफ आई एम गोइंग अहेड इन द फ्यूचर, like only we will be able to say that. But ideally, if Shubman Gill carries on like this, then there's no one going to stop him in coming into the World Cup squad.
Yeah, Abu Bakar's in the house. Hello, bro. How are you, man? I hope you're well. Was watching the test on Prime Video and couldn't help to think, but think that every test team must be happy. Virat Kohli is not the test captain anymore. Looking forward to VGT, man. Yeah, I haven't seen the second season yet. I need to watch that soon. If Faz stops watching Friends in the middle of the night and lets me watch that, I'll probably watch it. But I think the first season, Faz, in that one, the pura jab, when India came.
Friends or Amazon? Which first season?
Of the test. तो उसमें अगर तुम नोटिस करो, जब इंडिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया का सीरीज रहता वो पहले 2019 वाला, उसमें जो विराट कोहली एंट्री करता भाई, it's like a whole thing. Justin Langer, he says the best cricketer in the world. Everyone is talking about Virat Kohli. In their team meeting, they're talking about Virat Kohli. You know what they're saying? They're saying you have to ignore him. You have to ignore him. Third test में Tim Payne बोलता बैगन पकड़ो, I'm going to engage with him बोल के वो जो per test, because you can't ignore him. He's that kind of guy. And I feel that they will be a bit happy that he's not captain, but he's still on the pitch. And while he's on the pitch, he's going to make noise, Virat Kohli. And I think he has more license that he's not captain. He has more free time to talk. What do you think?
Yeah. I think irrespective of captain or not captain, I think he has always license to think. He has so many runs to back him. He has so many centuries to back him. He can always trash talk, and he will obviously, he's one of those who's not going to like sit lightly. He banks on his ability, confidence next to no one है. और विराट कोहली भाई ऐसे प्लेयर है भाई, आप क्लाइटी से ले सकते, आप कुछ दुनिया में बोल सकते हैं भाई उन्हें ये करा वो करा, 10,000 लोग क्रिटिसाइज. आई डोंट थिंक देयर इज एनीवन हु कैन कम एंड क्रिटिसाइज विराट कोहली बेस्ड ऑन his whole record. And मेरे हिसाब से he will have the freedom to do whatever he wants, and obviously again a big character in this BGT that's going to be coming up. We know he loves to play Australia, and we know that he's waiting to get a century in the test cricket, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see how that pans out.
आई थिंक पहली बार मैं देख रहा हूँ
Assalamu
नाम शेख जुनैद अस्सलाम वालेकुम वालेकुम सलाम
alaikum.
भाई लोग इंडियन टीम हैज टू मेनी हेडेक्स दे मस्ट सेपरेट T20 team 50 over team and test team then only all can play. I think they should separate white ball and red ball. That's what I would think. If you separate T20 50 and thing, it might be a bit
Too many
difficult.
cooks.
Yeah, but right now it looks like they're separating 50 and test in one and T20 in one, because you see Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, they're playing test in one days, but they're not playing T20s. So, but I
For
would
now, the
ideally do what England is doing.
No, I think that's a fair shout. अभी जिस तरीके से they've started the new year and with whatever resolutions they made in the BCCI, I'm very happy with this current setup that is there, where Hardik Pandya and the youngsters are there. But again, Junaid bhai and Mustafa, I think World Cup के बाद क्या situation रहेगा, that is the key for me. How they're going to react. अब दो चीजें, अगर आप वर्ल्ड कप जीत गए, विराट कोहली रोहित शर्मा विल थिंक चलो वर्ल्ड कप जीत गए, आप थोड़ा रेस्ट ले लेंगे, लाइट ले लो यार, बच्चों को खेलने दो. अगर वर्ल्ड कप खुदा ना खास्ता हार गए, देन एक अलग माइंड स्पेस आता है यहाँ पे कि भाई नहीं, अब T20 वर्ल्ड कप, that's what I'm going to aim. So that's what we have to look at. Okay, whatever Hardik and the boys are doing on the T20 side, that doesn't get hindered post the World Cup, whatever the repercussions are or ceremonies are. अब वो एक अलग argument रहेगा. अभी जो setup है, जिधर Hardik is leading those boys and they're looking like a very good, confident bunch of lads. And one day internationals में अगर आप देख रहे हैं, रोहित शर्मा is doing the best he can. So right now everybody is happy. अभी टेस्ट तो खेले नहीं. BGT will be our first probably example where we see that is Rohit fit to be the test captain or not.
मैं उल्टा है, आप जो बोले मेरे लिए उल्टा है. Like you said that if they win the thing, they can take it light. If they lose, you said they will play. They'll want to play. Ulta, I think if they lose, they won't be able to have their say. They'll say, "Ki bhai, finish. That's it. Your time is done. Let Hardik take over and whatever new generation." If they win, so sorry. So that's why I'm going to lose. If they win, then they can say, "Ki bhai, yeah, look, we won the 50 over World Cup. We want to play T20 as well."
पर
I think
अब
they
इस
have
पे
the leverage.
वही बात है, द कैरेक्टर. अब कोहली को कौन नहीं बोल सकते ना. अब कोहली को कैसे आप नहीं बोल सकते, इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ व्हाटएवर. आई मीन बोल सकते
उसको
हैं ऑब्वियसली.
कैप्टनसी नहीं निकाले उसके हाथ में से. He said
कैप्टेंसी
clearly, "I
निकाले,
don't want
लेकिन
to
आई
do."
एम जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट अ प्लेयर पर्सपेक्टिव. दिस इज नॉट लाइक इन अ लीडरशिप पर्सपेक्टिव, राइट? दिस इज अ प्लेयर पर्सपेक्टिव के भाई,
Yeah, so
डजंट
same thing.
विराट कोहली कैन ओनली से पाकिस्तान के अगेंस्ट मेलबर्न में, अब आप बोल दो मैं फिट होता हूं या नहीं होता. एक बात बोल रहा हूं मैं, ही विल हैव अ लॉट ऑफ आर्गुमेंट्स. रोहित शर्मा विल हैव. आई एम जस्ट सेइंग कि भाई
मगर
अभी जो
अगर आप
सेटअप
हार
है
गए वर्ल्ड
उसको
कप, अगर
उंगली न
हार
पकड़ो.
गए वर्ल्ड कप, रोहित शर्मा विराट कोहली की नहीं आई परफॉर्मेंसेस, दे डोंट हैव एनी ग्राउंड टू स्टैंड ऑन एट दैट टाइम. So you have to look at it from that perspective. If they win the
then
World
the
Cup, then they can
argument
say,
will come then the argument will come क्रॉस फॉर्मेट्स मत करो. तो T20 एंड 50 वर्ल्ड कप अलग आता. 50 वर्ल्ड 20 में विराट कोहली का एवरेज क्या है?
मैं उन्हें बोला, फिर उन्हें बोल सकता है भाई मैं लास्ट T20 में देखो क्या करा, अब वनडे वर्ल्ड कप में देखो क्या करा, मैं तो
वही
खेल रहा हूँ. अगर उन्हें
मैं
हारा तो then he doesn't have they don't have ground to stand on, then it's weekend. Then people will say, even media will say कि भाई आप लोगों का टाइम हो गया, यंगस्टर्स को टाइम दो. That's what's going to happen. Sarfaraz from Mumbai is hitting on hundreds and hundreds. We
आज आई
need him in
थिंक
testing.
आज जीरो पे गया शायद उन्हें, बट या ही डेफिनेटली ही डिजर्व द थिंग. आई थिंक उन्हें बोल रहा था कि माय डैड हैड कम डाउन टू द ट्रेनिंग सेशंस एंड आई वाज वेरी अपसेट. मैं बहुत अपसेट था, बट हिज डैड अपेरेंटली सॉर्ट ऑफ हैंडल्ड हिम एंड सेड कि भाई अपना काम है रन बनाना, आने का टाइम आएगा. एंड आई एम प्रीटी श्योर दैट रियली हेल्प्ड हिम, एंड दैट्स द नेक्स्ट मैच ही वेंट एंड स्कोर्ड अ सेंचुरी. So yeah.
Yeah, like I said, man, I don't think I know it's very difficult and everything, but like maybe if I'm him, just like just continue. It's easy for me to say, but like जो भी है गुस्सा like अंदर निकाल लो घर पे. But when you're outside, just focus on the game. Like what Surya Kumar did. Surya Kumar was also probably upset. मैं उन्हें आके इंटरव्यू कभी बोला नहीं कि भाई मेरे को क्यों नहीं ले रहे बोल के.
एग्जैक्टली. अब देखो, आप फॉर एग्जांपल धोनी का था जो करियर, धोनी डिडंट स्टार्ट वेरी अर्ली, राइट? धोनी के पहले युवराज सिंह आया, कितने की आया. आप लोग अगर मूवी भी देखे धोनी की, तो उसमें भी काफी हर्डल्स क्रॉस. ही वाज अ ट्रेन टिकट टेकर. पीपल प्लेड विद हिम इन रांची एंड दे वेंट ऑन टू बी लाइक इंडियन क्रिकेटर्स एंड ही वाज स्टिल सिटिंग एट होम जॉब में. एंड देन वन डे ही जस्ट डिसाइडेड कि भाई मैं अब हो गया, मैं से बहुत हो गया, आई एम जस्ट गोइंग टू फोकस ऑन क्रिकेट. एंड कहीं ना कहीं से आपको एक सिलेक्शन आता, दैट डे कम्स. अब यू जस्ट हैव टू बी कंसिस्टेंट एंड पुट इन कांस्टेंट एफर्ट. अब उसके ऊपर खुदा पे छोड़ देना, और कुछ नहीं कर सकते आप, आई थिंक.
Or your thoughts on Mohammad Siraj first one day at home? His performance, he picked up 4 wickets. I felt he showed immense control, especially in the death. Bowled really, really well. It was great to see his family also look at bhai मम्मी को भी इंटरव्यू करे, वो जबरदस्त दिखा मेरे को. But overall, Siraj has really grown, man, in all formats now for India.
100% यार. सिराज का जितना भी आप मैच्योरिटी की बात करो कम है. दैट गाय हैज बीन लाइक, आई रिमेम्बर एक टाइम पे डर होता था कि भाई ने इतना वेवर्ड है, इन्हें कहीं भी डाल देता, वाइडा निकाल लेता, कहीं से भी कुछ कर देता, लाइक ही गेट्स हिट इजीली, उन्हें लाइन एंड लेंथ उसकी मेंटेन नहीं होती थी, बहुत शॉट डालता था पहले। बट जिस तरीके से आप देखो, लाइक अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल क्रेडिट विराट कोहली फॉर गिविंग हिम कांस्टेंट बैकिंग इन आरसीबी, उसको वापस ले लेके आता था, दलवाता था एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट। आई थिंक दैट रियली हेल्प्स अ बॉलर एंड अ प्लेयर के भाई कोई साथ में कोई मेंटर है। आई थिंक a lot of Indian like cricketers या aspiring in any aspect of life, आप देख लो, अगर आपके पास एक mentor या एक guidance रहे ना, बहुत easy होता है at to an extent। आप करियर में भी लेकर usually we don't know what we want to do with our life, we don't have any proper counseling, this is in India I'm saying कि we don't have proper counseling, we don't have गाइडेंस और मेंटर के भाई ये करो, अब आप में टैलेंट होगा, आपको भी मालूम नहीं होगा, बट कोई देखने वाला नहीं है आपको, so I think that was very important for Mohammad Siraj to sort of experiment. He had his time to experiment, he had his time to fail, learn, develop his game, outswing develop करना, line length कैसा maintain करता। I think a few test matches in Australia, a few test matches here and there have really helped him to gain perspective, talk to the likes of Pat Cummins and other people in his camp and stuff. So that really helped Siraj, and bhai, I think up he's a complete bowler. He's one of the, I think, more senior players now, if you would say, put it in that terms, with the in and outness of Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Shami. He's become one of the most important bowlers for India right now. And rightfully so, he's cemented his position.
Yeah, now he's in the test team as well, so he's going to play a big part in the Border Gavaskar Trophy as well as the World Cup. Now they just need to keep him fit, and hopefully he continues to perform like this. For me, the biggest thing is that over the last year, his new ball has really improved the way he bowls in the power play. The ball coming in as well, he brings that ball in and like through the gate of the batsman. I really like that delivery that he's developed in the depth as well. Like his Yorkers, he's nailing them. The wide Yorkers, he's understanding which lengths to bowl. Variations are also there. So that I've seen recently. But yeah, like over the last year, one thing which took me aback and surprised me is his new ball control, because वो आसान नहीं रहता new ball control करने, and he's really improved on that. And he was someone who used to leak runs, man, a lot before.
100%। एंड आई थिंक उन्हें ज्यादा इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट भी नहीं खेला, अगर आप देखो 19 ओडीआईज है एंड लाइक टी20 भी बहुत कम है। इंटरनेशनल सर्किट पे आईपीएल पे बहुत ज्यादा पहले अपन देख लेते शायद उसको, इसलिए ऐसा लग रहा कि बहुत टाइम से। बट अगर आप उसके मैचेस देखो, लाइक ही ओनली प्ले लाइक 15 टेस्ट और लाइक 8 टी20 इंटरनेशनल सर्किट पे। ऑब्वियसली फर्स्ट क्लास क्रिकेट काफी खेला एंड रांची एंड स्टफ, बट इंटरनेशनल पे तो काफी रिसेंटली में जो 2-3 साल से अगर अपन देख रहे, वरना उन्हें नहीं था। एंड ही इज वेरी क्विक टू लर्न ऑल ऑफ दिस थिंग्स। इट्स
He's
very very
someone who was picked on Ranji performance, not IPL performance, because his IPL performance wasn't great. It was
yeah
his Ranji
yeah we,
performance,
we
which
know we know better than anyone, I think.
yeah, Virat Kohli got him after his Ranji performances into the Test team, and then he transitioned into One Day and T20 for India. Kohli also had Sehwag, Gambhir, and Yuvraj batting around him in 2011, who were in good form. And Gill doesn't have everyone performing consistently around him. Your thoughts on that?
I think Gill does, but Gill has like a few, if you would like really be. I mean, they're more or less new with around him, but Kohli is a prime example of a mentor that you could have who has the learning of Sehwag, Gambhir, and Yuvraj and Dhoni to an extent. And then Gill has Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma, आप जितना भी बोला, as a batsman, he is a phenomenal batsman, right? He can give you tricks of the trade. Then you have Kohli. So I mean, he does have a few mentors, and obviously, then in the likes of Rahul Dravid is a very good coach who can help him, shape his game in Test cricket. So he does have a few things, but obviously Kohli, Sehwag, Gambhir, Tendulkar, like Kohli had Sehwag, Gambhir, Tendulkar, and all of these legends. But I think with time, even Gill will have enough of learnings, and obviously he's got more action in an earlier stage than what Kohli got. I think that's also one
Yeah.
way to look at it.
What type of on the field or off the field or both?
Off the field, on the field, I think yeah, he made an entry to Bollywood earlier than Virat.
there's no space for surprise right now, honestly. I mean, there is space. Shreyas Iyer, again, his injury, there's injury concern there. Also, with Shreyas Iyer, bouncer ka bhi issue rehta, so there's always place in that number 5, I think, for Sarfaraz. Who would you play, Abu Bakar? If Shreyas Iyer is not fit, who would play in that number 5 slot? Would you go with Surya Kumar? Would you take that risk? Or wouldn't you go with someone who's performing in the red ball? HCCL really helped Siraj.
It helped
Yeah,
all of,
I mean,
it helped all of us. I mean, to an extent, even me. I mean, you
it's,
like I mean, whatever matches we played, it did help. But like, obviously, I
yeah,
think
of course. I played
HCCL के
very few.
बाद
I played very few. You played way more than me.
HCCL के बाद तो यार डेफिनेटली, बट वही है ना, लाइक आई थिंक HCCL के बाद ऐसे लीग्स आप खेलते जाते हैं, एंड देन यू रीच अ रणजी लेवल एंड देन इट चेंजेस, बट हैविंग द क्या बोल सकते हैं, द keenness to learn and to grow and to क्रिकेटर बनना बहुत मुश्किल है यार हैदराबाद में या इंडिया में इन जनरल इट्स सो हार्ड मैन एंड वाकई salute to Siraj to from nowhere to like everything right now he has.
Yeah, and वो mentality का light low mentality in that mentality it becomes very difficult. अरे कुछ काम कर लो, क्रिकेट में कुछ नहीं होगा ये वो. तो like for him to get back like that and himself put that effort, I mean hats off. बहुत जबरदस्त. But let's talk a bit about the issue of death bullying, भाई. वहाँ पे we saw that yesterday in Hyderabad. We've seen it everywhere. We've seen it in every format. With India, they cannot clean up the tail. They cannot clean up the last 5-6 wickets when they get breakthroughs. Even against Bangladesh, Mehdi Hassan को out ही नहीं कर सके थे उन लोग when they had them 9 down, 10 down. Sorry, 9, 8, 9 down. नहीं हो रहा था. So how will this improve? What do they have to do? Whether is it execution of deliveries? Is it field placements? What can they do to change this around?
मेरे हिसाब से देखो अगर आप कोई भी लाइक से फॉर एग्जांपल ऑस्ट्रेलिया दे नो हाउ टू क्लीन अप पटेल और साउथ अफ्रीका व्हाई एक तो दे हैव क्वालिटी बॉलर्स दे हैव आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट वी डोंट हैव क्वालिटी बट द पेस विल एंड द मेन थिंग इज दैट दे स्केयर the batsmen they scare them with like short balls they scare them with yorkers they scare with every kind of thing that they have in their arsenal right हर चीज जो है they throw at even अगर आप tail ender they'll think इन्हें number 1 है number 2 batsman है इसको ऐसा आउट करो अपने पास जो मैं रिसेंटली मैं नोटिस कर रहा हूँ एंड आई सेड दिस क्वाइट अ फ्यू टाइम्स आई थिंक ऑलरेडी के भाई एक टाइम के बाद अपन ना बहुत कैजुअल हो जाते हैं अपन एक 5-6 के बाद जहाँ दिखता कि भाई अब तो फॉर एग्जांपल 350 का टारगेट है या 150 है तो काफी 200 रन है और ये 6 विकेट चले गए 5 विकेट चले गए हाँ भाई अपने हाथ में मैच आ गया एंड देन आप बहुत कैजुअल हो जाते हैं फील्ड में रहने दो it translates so it goes from the bowler starts missing his line in length the bowler stops being disciplined till 150 till the fifth wicket कितनी डिसिप्लिन थी यार कितना अच्छा डाल रहे थे पूरे बॉयज तमीज से नेल कट हेयर कट सब फ्रेश दिख रहे थे जहाँ पे ना ब्रेसवेल को थोड़ा आप लूज बॉल एक दो छक्के का एंड देन यू फॉरगेट योर लाइन एंड लेंथ यू फॉरगेट एवरीथिंग आप भूल जाते कि भाई मैं क्या डाल रहा हूँ मैं कहाँ से आ रहा हूँ सेम थिंग शुभमन गिल सेड पोस्ट इंटरव्यू सेड कि भाई इफ यू डोंट गिव द इंटेंट लाइक इफ एज अ बैट्समैन इफ आई डोंट गिव हिम द इंटेंट देन he'll easily overtake me but यहाँ पे ब्रेसवेल did the same thing he showed them intent कि I'm here to hit you आप उसको चैलेंज के जैसे लेके आप शॉर्ट बॉल डालो आपके उसके मुंह पे डालो एक बीमर डाल दो भाई कोई बात नहीं डालो कुछ भी नहीं होता ब्रेटली
So
यूज्ड टू
you,
थ्रो बीमर जस्ट फॉर फन रिमेंबर उन्हें डराता था लोगों को ब्रेटली भाई आगे आके मैं फोड़ देता हूँ yeah
yeah, very
very casually yeah casually
But
he came
so
here
on that
but
point, for me, so you're saying you're basically trying to say that when the talent is come, change your line length and attack the stumps and go short ball. Don't bowl how you bowl to the top order. That's what you're saying.
no I am saying do that but also if it's not working try something new as well आप फिर क्या होता है एक आध दो छिक्के के बाद आप अपना पूरा भूल ही जाते कहाँ से क्या डाल रहे
But
थे जो
don't bowl
डिसिप्लिन
like
थी
a
राइट
line
कर
in length. You're saying like
yeah
but like attack the stumps, make it more aggressive.
मेक इट मोर एग्रेसिव थोड़ा डराओ थोड़ा करो एंड एटलीस्ट मेंटेन योर लाइन इन लेंथ यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है एक दो छक्के के बाद हु वाज द शामी वाज बॉलिंग उसको छक्के पड़ रहे थे सिराज हु वर बॉलिंग वेरी गुड थ्रू आउट द मैच इफ दे weren't bowling anything bad but fielding फिर कैजुअल हो जाती everything it just falls like one domino falls the other dominoes fall बोलते ना वही हो गया था सिचुएशन
More than casual, I think the nerves set in. They don't know what to do, man. They don't just when a tailender comes, they don't know how to execute their plans because to the top order, they're bowling so well, they're bowling a proper line length. But then, क्या होता है, especially in test matches, if you notice, जब line length आप डालते the tailender को, he'll edge it for 4 या top edge करके he'll go for 6 or whatever. Then they start spreading the field. And then you start going wayward. Similarly, I think एक दो छक्के जब पड़े कल, they didn't know they started spreading the field. They continued to bowl that length ball and it wasn't working and didn't bowl the Yorker as much as you wanted. So उस हिसाब से that could be one of the reasons also.
this should also come from like the seniors कोहली रोहित शर्मा ये जो आवाज निकालते फील्ड में कम ऑन बॉयज चलो बॉयज शाबाश कुछ भी नहीं ऐसा ठंडा खड़े हुए यूं खड़े हुए like I mean again it's not their fault but you have to show how like you have to give them the way right you have to show them the way इनला पूरे फिर भी बोलो 19-20 मैच or not Shami but maybe Siraj and all of these guys they play lesser when you compare it to Rohit Sharma but how to finish it up it's a team effort आप bowling अगर लाइन लाइन गए फील्डिंग खराब हो जाती है फिर फील्डिंग की जो एनर्जी है वो आपके पूरे ओवरऑल फील्ड में चले जाती है आपके बॉलर में चले जाती है पूरी नेगेटिविटी भर जाती है मारा खाते रहते वो एक पॉजिटिविटी की रे कहीं से नहीं आती तो आई थिंक यू जस्ट हैव टू स्लेज अ बिट यू जस्ट हैव रहने दो टेल एंडर रहने दो कोई भी रहने दो मिशन आपका विकेट है श्रीलंका के अगेंस्ट क्या करा सिराज ही बोल्ड अ यॉर्कर एंड ही गॉट द लास्ट गाय आउट उससे पहले आई थिंक उमरान मलिक था जो पेस से मारा वो भी उन्हें बेस्ट बॉल डाला अपनी व्हाई बिकॉज यू फिनिश ऑफ विद योर बेस्ट बॉल आप टॉप ऑर्डर को निकाल दिए बाद आप फिर आप एक आध दो छक्के खाए बाद आप यू कैंट जो इतना आप एफर्ट डाले पूरे पिंडे में मिला देते, फिर आप देयर नो पॉइंट.
कौन था वो 3 वाइड डाला बैक टू बैक वाइड हैट्रिक?
शार्दुल
शार्दुल ठाकुर.
शार्दुल ठाकुर फिर उन्हें निकाला आई थिंक.
Pandya has this weird style of taking a run up. He runs around, zoop, bulk and zigzag. भाग लेते फिर सेंटर में आके बॉल डाल रहा है, पूरा स्टेडियम हंस रहा है. Yeah, I've seen that as well in the stadium. उन्हें ऐसा करके like then he comes straight. I've seen that with Hardik Pandya. थोड़ा सा weird है. Even if you notice, Bumrah didn't play yesterday. Bumrah का भी action went to like he walks half his run up and
half
then
the
he
run
runs.
up, yeah.
So like अलग चीज़ when you're in the ground you notice these kind of things. It is interesting for sure. But yeah, I also
if something wayward is helping, like if you're walking down the stuff एकदम zip बोल के डाल रहे, it's working, let it work. But वही finishing off the tail has been a very big problem, like you saying, and death over bowling in particular. I think इतना आजकल उसको इतना ज़रा hype कर दिया कि as a bowler also you get stressed कि भाई अभी end के overs है.
that's what it is.
टेक्निकली मैं एक ही चीज बोलता हूँ कि भाई जो लास्ट मैच था, जो न्यूजीलैंड का मैच, ऐसा डेथ ओवर एज सच नहीं था या कुछ, बिकॉज इतना बड़ा टारगेट था ब्रेसवेल एंड सैंटनर के सामने. तो यू कांट लाइक से कि भाई अरे ये कोई प्रेशर सिचुएशन था या कोई जैसा एक आध तो छक्के खाते, वो तो जनरल चीज है क्रिकेट में. बट लाइक आई थिंक
you know what you're
जहां तक
describing, right? You're describing lack of energy. They're not bowling in the right areas. They look sust in the field, in your words casual. You're basically saying कि stamina नहीं है इन लोगों के पास.
स्टैमिना नहीं बोलूंगा. आई थिंक इट्स जस्ट लाइक एट सम पॉइंट दे जस्ट lack like overconfidence sets in, or something is there that I don't know, but like I won't say stamina, but like I would just say they just lack something like energy or some kind of a spark which think when will Bumrah come in the test series.
नाम तो चेक करो भाई.
Balaji Pimpre. But yeah, thank you for joining us, Balaji bhai. And
what you heard about me?
We don't know when Bumrah will come actually.
Bumrah
का time है अभी.
No Cadillac, no Punch, you can't see. देखो बुमराह का हमारे को नहीं मालूम. उन्हें आता अनाउंस होता, फिर उसको निकाल देते बिना बॉल खेल के, उन्हें फिर आके बॉलिंग भी करता, फिर इंजर हो जाता. वी डोंट नो एग्जैक्टली उसका क्या रहने वाला है. ही इज नॉट इन द टेस्ट सीरीज स्क्वाड. maybe his name might be there in the third test, but I think that it's going to be unlikely. If he's not going to play the first 2 tests, I don't see him coming in straight in the third test and playing. Now, so then the first time you might see him is the IPL. Maybe that's the case from what I can make out right
Could
now.
Happen.
पहले 2 मैच का स्क्वाड अनाउंस हो गया और बुमराह है नहीं उसमें. अब उसको थर्ड टेस्ट में अब रिस्क लेंगे. लाइक 6-7 महीना हो जाएंगे जब तक मार्च. उन्हें कब खेला लास्ट? सितंबर में खेला शायद.
साउथ अफ्रीका के बाद.
हाँ, सितंबर में था वो, राइट? तो आफ्टर द एशिया कप, बिफोर द T20 World Cup, he played 1 game in that.
Yeah.
उससे पहले I think last he played in England. So yeah, I don't think he's going to play in that test series versus Australia. So next आपको शायद IPL में ही दिखेगा उन्हें.
Yeah, I mean, वो तो दिखेगा, and I think it's a good test for also our bowling department. Without Bumrah, how you survive against Australia, I think it's a good challenge, and I'm happy.
But Bumrah hardly plays home test anyway, man. I don't think it's a big issue. Like the Umesh Yadav, Siraj, I mean, लोग ही दिखते हैं आपको लगता है home test matches में Bumrah में कूदता है. Normally away test matches में खेलता है उन्हें. तो I don't think it should be an issue.
But काफी टाइम से अगर आप देख लो, like from New Zealand, Sri Lanka, ये 2 series है, तो without Bumrah we've been doing decent well. Bangladesh also we won the test, we lost the ODIs maybe, but I think now it's also a good way to look at it. What if Bumrah is coming, like if Bumrah is not there, it's not a very big kind of an issue. It is an issue obviously to an extent, but not a very very big issue जिस तरीके से portray हो रहा. What do you think?
Sorry, repeat the last part.
I'm just saying, like, let's say if Bumrah, do you think that if Bumrah doesn't play, it's a big issue now for India's bowling
in the World Cup? Yeah,
in a World Cup.
Yeah, 100%. It's a big issue. The but problem was, huh?
Bolo.
No, I was just reading the comment. You can like on this topic, you can ask me.
नहीं, the problem was ये antics करने के बाद छक्के मारा था. हाँ, वो तो इधर उधर गलियां फिर के आते हो ना भाई. But I don't know. I think it's something to do with his injury maybe. I don't know why it does that, but it's
नहीं, उसका है वैसा. Just like how players have this kind of thing to get into rhythm when you bowl. Like मैं इधर खुजा लेता हूँ, तुम कुछ यहाँ पे खुजा लेते हैं. So you have different like things before you bowl. Or like in table tennis when I say I touch the table like that with the ball and something like it's just that to get into your rhythm kind of. It's something different. It's funny, but just to get into that rhythm. But yeah, on Jasprit Bumrah, man, in a big tournament you will miss him 100% because no one bowls a Yorker like him. He
Hmm.
can take the pitch out of the equation. He has a great slower ball. He has a weird action which is difficult to pick. And in Indian conditions, I think with the white ball, he'll get some movement off the pitch as well and on the pitch. So I mean, with the in the air, so he's gonna be lethal, man. Just with Bumrah. Without him, it's going to be
Hmm.
difficult. It doesn't mean that you can't win the World Cup, but it will be more difficult. And you saw that in the T20 World Cup when Bumrah wasn't there, you missed him badly.
Yeah, that was something else. But like I think everyone stepped up a lot more in a 50 over format. If I were to say, like Siraj and Umran. Umran is one that I'm very excited about.
You
Arshdeep
say
just needs a
that,
bit more
you
time.
say that, but like you played Bangladesh, you lost the series there. Sri Lanka, okay, you beat them in the one days, but now this match you almost lost. So I'm still not impressed, man. Like, and this is bilateral, जिसमें pressure है नहीं उतना जितना World Cup में रहेगा.
World Cup
World
में
Cup में
रहता
और
है, yeah.
ज्यादा pressure रहेगा. You're going to get pumped. You're going to play the likes of England. You're going to play the likes of Australia. Even Pakistan is going to give you a tough fight, man. It's going to be a pressure game. So in those situations, will your bowlers live up to the hype? I'm not convinced. Like I'll tell you very honestly, I'm not convinced.
Fair point. I mean, they've not convincingly done anything, but I think at least Sri Lanka में they put up a good fight and they were finishing off things faster. Maybe कल के मैच के basis पे बोल सकते हैं कि hey, बांग्लादेश के against भी again they gave away the runs, but I'm just looking at the future. अगर बुमराह नहीं रहा तो फिर survival तो रहता है. And I mean Siraj is
Option to
leading it
nahi hai.
good.
You can't. What basically you have to look at other options. Of course, you can't just rely on.
Yeah, एक मिनट आ रहा हूँ.
हाँ. So yeah, so basically, of course, if Bumrah is not fit, मैं बोल रहा था कि you still have to look at other options. You need other players to come and fill in that gap, but it's always going to be a big gap to fill. Bumrah is someone, like I mentioned, he's great death bowler, great new ball bowler. He has the experience also. He's been playing since around 2016 for India. So he has that thing in him. But of course, if he's not that, then you have to make do with whatever you have. And now these guys are getting the games, right? The likes of Siraj, Shami, and then they need to finish their tail. They need to be more ruthless, and they have to work on that aspect of the game for them to compete on the highest level, especially in the World Cup.
Yeah, I think they just need to follow a few, look at other teams. It's okay. You can find out their strategies, what their strategies are for death over bowling or finishing off the tail. Learn something and come back and implement it. I mean, it's कोई problem नहीं है उसमें. And Sri Lanka के against तो भी at least they were doing it quicker. I think एक ही partnership हुआ था end में in the first or the second ODI. उसके अलावा तो we won
वो भी भाई,
convincingly.
that's not acceptable. उन्हें शनका के 100 जो मारा था, it's not
Yeah,
acceptable. You can't let that happen.
exactly. Yeah, 100%.
You
वही है कि I think थोड़े tactics. I think as a bowling coach also जो भी है अपना bowling coach है कौन? I forgot like अपना
पहले
bowling
भारत
coach
अरुण
yeah.
था. अब कौन याद नहीं आ रहा मेरे को.
हाँ तो खैर even he has to look into that.
How does India? Are Pandra, thank you for joining us. How does Indian bowlers answer Mehdi's Bracewell, the runs who come lower order and get stuck when the match is almost done? And this is not started just now, Pandra. If you take this back a few years ago, you take it to another format. Sam Curran gave you problems. Jameson gave you problems in New Zealand. Pat Cummins has given you problems
No
in
problems
Australia.
Australia.
You remember that test match where India won that first game in 2019. उसमें Nathan Lyon और Hazelwood मार रहे थे.
Hazelwood.
Almost हल्लक में आ गया था match, and you see that in the first season of the test also, that game. So it's not a problem right now, and that's why I don't know what the solution is. Faz is saying कि ऐसा करना, look at other teams, but I've been seeing it with Indian cricket, especially when the bowling attack is improved. Before we could say कि यार bowling में problem है ये वो. Now the bowling attack is improved last 5 years. But even with this improved bowling attack with world-class bowlers, you're not being able to finish off tails consistently for the last 5 years that I'm noticing. मैं 2017 से तो मैं
17.
notice कर रहा हूँ भाई कि कोई there has been no improvement in finishing off the tail, and it's happened in every single format. tail में आके कोई आके आपको सूद के चला जाता. And I don't know what the solution is.
अब उसमें वही है ना multiple जो अब जहाँ तक मेरे को वही लग रहा कि भाई at some point it is also the strategy that the bowling coach is not implementing. Maybe उसको भी question में
there's
करे
been
आज तक भाई.
multiple bowling coaches.
And also one thing is that the temperament that drops एकदम से. Once the match is in our hand, that temperament of that energy
Maybe
drops.
that energy and temperament is dropping, maybe because of the stamina. Maybe they're not fit enough. Maybe they can't compared to Australia,
that could.
Someone like Pat Cummins is more fit to come and bowl a nail a Yorker. It could be that. I don't know the answer to it. I'm just making assumptions.
But this is the general thing that I've noticed. देखो भाई आप कोई भी मैच ले लो, एक टाइम पे जब मैच हाथ में आ जाता है, it starts slipping away. Why? And then it's just the energy flow across the from bowler to fielder, fielder to captain, captain, and that's what rises up everybody. Irritation होता, फिर उसके साथ मोमेंटम चले आता, मोमेंटम उधर आते आते छिक्के खा लेते रहते हैं, फिर हाथ में आ जाती थी, फिर कुछ तो भी होता, एक टॉप पे जाता जाता कैच आ जाता, फिर थोड़ा सुकून में आते. तो आई थिंक more than I think it's stamina. I just it's just like they just need to be consistent in what they're doing. I mean, आप एक half of literally आप पूरा one half to like 30-40 overs आप जबरदस्त डाले and फिर आप लास्ट के 15 ओवर आप पिंडे में मिला दिए. So that doesn't make sense.
Also, I think the captain needs to try something out of the box. अगर कोई tailender ऐसा मार रहा आपको आके या lower order
कोहली को
batsman आके
डालो.
मार रहा, विराट कोहली को डालो, आप खुद आके डालो, आप श्रेयस अय्यर को दे दो, जो भी है, लाइक पार्ट टाइमर को दे दो. अगर आप आपके फुल टाइम बॉलर से नहीं निकल रहा बैट्समैन, पार्ट टाइमर को दे दो. मे बी ही हैज अ चांस उन्हें आगे, he'll probably take a risk and maybe get out. So try something different. That's what Dhoni used to do. केदार यादव को लेके आ जाता था.
केदार यादव.
Yeah, he used to come. उससे पहले, like, you know, he used Yuvraj very well in that situation, and you know, he used to do things like that. Joginder Sharma, yeah, Joginder Sharma got his luck up. So, but that's it's true. We're last.
Sehwag used to bowl. Sehwag used to bowl a lot as well.
Yeah, that's Saurav Ganguly, man.
Saurav
He's
Ganguly,
the one who started this part-time
started.
thing. Like, everyone takes Dhoni's name, which is true, but Saurav Ganguly is the one. He himself used to come on. He used Tendulkar extremely well, and he used to use Virendra Sehwag himself as well. Yeah, so maybe get a part-timer on and try something different. I think it's complacency, even in gully cricket. If you know a batsman is not really good for you, take him light. But how long are you going to take him lightly, especially when the match is on the line? This is happening for like so long, man. It's not like a kal ki baat. I've been talking for ages now, and you've lost big test matches. You've lost big matches because of this problem. And खुदा का खास्ता वनडे वर्ल्ड कप में अगर ऐसा हो गया तो फिर आपकी वर्ल्ड कप भी चला जाती है.
Exactly. वही तो है, इतना चिड़ वही छे ना भाई. पूरा मैच बेहतरीन डाले बाद एंड में क्या आके हो रहा है यार, एंड के बैट्समैनों को देख के क्या हो रहा समझ में नहीं आ रहा, एंड दे नॉट एबल टू नेल इट. वही उमरान आके, उमरान अगर आया, उमरान कर सकता है ये चीज, बट अगेन उमरान का भी एक आध छिक्का पड़ गया, फिर उसकी क्या टेम्परामेंट
देखो
हो जाता.
वही है, बुमराह भी लाइक मारता था यॉर्कर्स, उसके साथ भी हम लोग वी यूज्ड टू स्ट्रगल फिनिशिंग ऑफ द टेस्ट. समझ रहे मेरी बात? A lot of times, even with Jasprit Bumrah, like, of course there were times where India won test matches because of his spells, but even with him we struggled to finish off tables, like completely wiped them out, you know. And हमारी tail उतना नहीं wag करती थी, apart from a few games that I can remember on top of my head, we don't wag as much. So yeah, that is that is the problem.
And then कुछ तो भी करना पड़ेगा, because if this, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of other teams already know, and then they'll 100% go ahead and expose this, or like sort of plan against this again in the World Cup at least. And आजकल number 7, number 6 तक, number 8 तक हर टीम बैट कर रही.
Yeah, exactly. Number और वही है, अगर आप एक्स्ट्रा बॉलर खिलाए तो बैटिंग वीक हो जाती है, अगर एक्स्ट्रा बैट्समैन खिलाए तो बॉलिंग वीक हो जाती है. अब जैसा शार्दुल ठाकुर को खिलाया, सूद के रख दिया, तो you're in a dilemma right now going into that World Cup. There is a lot of questions to be asked. With that, let's go into fresh off the press, and जो भी ताज़ी खबर है आज we'll discuss it. मेरे तरफ से एक ताजी खबर मैं कल नहीं मेंशन करा, कल की बात है. ज़ैनब अब्बास गिर गया बाउंड्री लाइन पे. इंटरव्यू
कहाँ पे? बाउंड्री लाइन पे? अरे उठाए, जाके नहीं उठाए आप?
उठाए. Marco Jansen smashed it right through covers, and she was interviewing, and the ball is coming her way, and then she fell onto the boundary rope, and then they got her up, and then they cut through the commentary box.
लगी तो नहीं उसको?
लगी Lagi bhai, but she's okay, but she said she's fine.
Okay.
But yeah. But that's the risk of modern day reporting, man. You're on the field, kabhi bhi ball lag sakta, thoda sa bach ke, like kuch bhi ho sakta, like so yeah. I found that funny, but at the same time I'm glad she's okay, she's safe. Also, from the Big Bash Fest today, it was the Thunder who won, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Finally the losing streak comes to an end. Yeah, and David Warner was playing today as well. 142 रन्स बनाए थे रेनेगेड्स, कोई ज्यादा परफॉर्म नहीं कर रहा. विल सदरलैंड एंड में आके बेचारा 42 of 23 क्विक मारा, 3 sixes 2 fours. Pick of the bowler was like Usman Qadir, 4 overs 20 runs and 2 wickets.
कौन है मालूम?
But हाँ, वही अब्दुल कादिर का बेटा.
Yeah, Uzi
Uzi
should be Yeah, I hope he gets some game time for Pakistan as well. It's good that he's playing Big Bash, getting some experience under his belt, but he's bowling well.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, Sydney Thunder came into bat आराम से, अच्छी start मिली 57 की partnership थी. Warner 26 मारा, एक छक्का एक चौका, couldn't get going, but yeah, Matthew Giles 74 runs मारा, and Alex Ross 40 of 32. So they finally won after like I think a couple of bad games. They managed to finish it.
Yeah,
चिराग भाई is
yes,
asking क्या भाई आज टाइम से पहले आ गए क्या? जी भाई आज टाइम से पहले आ गए, आज गुड बॉयज बन गए हम लोग.
टाइम से पहले आके वो आज सनराइजर्स का गेम है आधे घंटे में, मगर फिर वो भी है, रोनाल्डो का मेसी का मैच है, फिर टॉटनम सिटी का भी है. Yesterday तो felt like a loss the United game, but yeah, there's a lot of cricket and football, so we thought अभी थोड़ा time मिला, let's discuss. We wanted to
Also,
talk about.
Mustafa, I think today, I mean, Hashim Amla retired in 2019, but he apparently retired from Surrey today. So he'll have full cricket se retirement le liya, finally. But yeah, in your
World
words and
class
everybody
man.
watching, yeah, before I asked you, understood. So yeah,
Yeah, Hashim Amla also a very underrated white ball player. That's what I would say. Red ball was zabardast. For me, the highlight of his career was that triple hundred he scored at Lords. I think it was against England. That was
yeah,
unbelievable innings. I was in
11.
Hyderabad at that time. That was outstanding innings. But the white ball, bro, he has like three IPL hundreds, for Punjab. So like the white ball, he was extremely good player. Unfortunately, he didn't win a trophy, but that's with South Africa. I guess the bad luck, the choker tag continues. मगर
Hmm.
क्या प्लेयर था उन्हें. आई नो हसन भाई के फेवरेट प्लेयर थे, and but I like and I used to mess around with them saying nahi light hai player, but he was a very good player, bro. Hashim Amla, extremely good.
Yeah,
The timing was very good. I'm just talking about his cricket, nothing else. Just his cricket batting outstanding. I know off the field also he's extremely nice guy, and Dale Steyn, like he used to say that the most peaceful thing is to see Hashim Amla reading the Quran and stuff like that. But I'm just talking about his cricket. Like
yeah.
his cricket was outstanding, man. He was such a good player.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, देख लो आप 124 टेस्ट मैचेस 9,282 runs where he's averaging 46. Incredible red ball player. ODIs में he's 181 matches, 8,113 runs where he's averaging 49, and T20 में he's averaging 33, man.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. Very good player, and we'll miss him for sure. But yeah, I missed watching him play for South Africa, and just some of his shots. Timing was outstanding, and mentally very strong. Never used to get flustered. उसको sledge भी नहीं करते थे, ऐसा दिखा था मेरे को. He didn't care. Like he just used to come
I think yeah,
sitting
he
back.
was just too focused in himself, and like he was used to
Yeah.
soak up the pressure and automatically खुद um, he would just उनकी innings भी बहुत beautiful दिखती थी, the technique of his defense and everything. Although he had a little wayward technique, people used to say,
Yeah,
but
थोड़ा अलग था. It was
थोड़ा
part of the
अलग था,
format.
but man, he just knew what he was doing from the minute he got onto the field.
How was Janssen shot of Rabada similar to and the thing is with Janssen, he has that height as well. So I saw that shot for him. It's a bit easier, but for Virat Kohli, I felt it was tougher plus the pressure and everything, but it was incredible. And wo bhi Rabada ko maar raha. So yeah, man, hats off. It's hard to compare. I think you could say just a situation, we would give it to Kohli, the shot, but Janssen, man, no one expects Janssen to play like that, and the way he batted, outstanding. I enjoyed it, and I'm really enjoying this SA T20, man. The crowds are flocking in. It's been some good cricket, and the Sunrise are back to winning ways. I mean, started to win, so that's also fun. उसमें कनाडा का आ रहे जब धूप निकले थोड़ा टेम्परेचर राइज होता है, हम आ जाएंगे समर में
मैं भी
इंशाल्लाह.
आता हूँ फिर मैं भी आता हूँ फिर
Colorado
but
these days. But I yeah, hopefully soon, man. I have to come to Canada. It's been a long time, but hopefully soon. दुआ करिए आप इंशाल्लाह. दुबई में there's a restaurant called Hashmi Barbecue. इमरान ताहिर भाई डिनर कर रहे थे फैमिली के साथ. Oh, interesting.
आमला
Check it.
आमला आमला 30 डिस्काउंट कूपन डाल के खा रहे थे शायद आमला डिस्काउंट
Uh,
but yeah Dvij bhai asked a very good question. He said best test player according to you, is this forever or like how? I guess forever ही बोल रहे all time. मुस्तफा
आप बोलिए
नहीं
पहले.
आपका तो मालूम शायद नूर, कल भी हम लोग यही डिस्कस कर रहे थे रेड बॉल में. अगर अब हम पूरा सोचना पड़ता मेरे को, आई थिंक आपकी जबान पे तो आप बोल सकते, तो मैं सोच के बोल सकता हूँ फिर.
मेरे साथ पे नहीं है कुछ भी. आप लोग तो
मुश्किल है.
बोलिए, आप लोग का
दुज
कौन है
भाई आप
टेस्ट
लोग
में.
बोलिए, आपका अपना बोलिए, एंड देन विल टेक अस सम टाइम टू प्रोबब्ली बिकॉज़ अब कितने क्रिकेटर्स आ रहे दिमाग में अगर वैसा सोच रहे तो. आई स्टिल बिलीव मोइन अली इज द doppelganger of Hashim
Also,
Amla.
best test player. My so what I wanted to clarify with Dev G, is that you want us to say our favorite test player, or you want to say who we think is the best test player of all time? Like, so there's two different things. He might not be my favorite player, but for me, he's the best test player. Like, for example, Messi is the best footballer, but he's not my favorite footballer.
Yeah, me
So,
too.
me too. Hashtag. I see even Moin Ali is doppelganger of Asham Amla. I mean, Moin Ali is also great. I mean, he's not on the level of Asham Amla, but like such a good utility player, man. Moin bhai, जबरदस्त. So yeah, दिवजी देव सिंह सर, अगर आप मेरे को बताए तो मैं उस हिसाब से आपको मेरे पास है रेडी आंसर. हाँ बोलो
आप
फर्स्ट.
उसके आप वो हिसाब से बोल दो भाई, वो हिसाब से ही
किस
बोल रहा हूँ,
हिसाब से?
मसला नहीं, जिस
नहीं
हिसाब
नहीं,
से
पर
आपको मालूम.
क्लैरिफाई कर देंगे. हाँ, पहले क्लैरिफाई कर देंगे. हाँ बोलो.
नहीं तो
अच्छा मैं दोनों बोल
फिर,
देता हूँ. ठीक है, मैं
अच्छा
दोनों
रुक
बोल
जाओ,
देता
पहले
हूँ.
उससे पहले अपडेट दे दो तुम्हें, जब तक होपफुली द्विज भाई
क्या
विल
अपडेट
क्लैरिफाई
देते
इट.
रहते हैं आप?
अपडेट ये है,
बोलो.
IL T20 चल रहा है, अगर आप लोग भूल गए. गर्ल्स
अरे हाँ,
जायंट्स का मैच चल रहा है
यही
दुबई
यही
कैपिटल
है.
से. हाँ, 71 मारा है जेम्स विंस जो कैप्टन है. क्रिस्टियन इधर आ गया है एंड ही हिट अ 25 और 25. काफी गुड फॉर्म में है एक्चुअली क्रिस्टियन फ्रॉम द BBL एंड स्टफ. पर या राइट नाउ गर्ल्स जायंट्स हैव पोस्टेड अ टोटल, नो 14th या 15th ओवर हुआ है, 114 चल रहा है, 4-3. But yeah, काफी इतना
नहीं
it's
जो
not picking up crowds when you compare it to a South African T20 league. I think दुबई में काफी time लगेगा to implement a cricketing culture because football and other sports are much more active. But if only time will tell. But South Africa, man, Mustafa really shocked us, huh? In terms of the way the crowds are coming in, how they market it
yeah,
well,
like
good quality of players, and yeah.
one thing I think the big advantage is that their main South African players are playing. So it
Hmm.
gets the crowds. The kids want to see their heroes like Rabada,
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
they want to see Nokia and all these guys. Whether it's even Quentin de Kock or Deval Brevis, the youngsters, they're seeing their main players. On top of that, you have like the likes of
Commentary.
Rashid Khan, Joffrey Archer, and these guys. So you have them, and of course you just mentioned commentary. I think both are here, but also the
We have ABD Villiers and all of these guys. I mean, वो भी एक चीज हो
yeah,
जाता है.
but you're forgetting also the South Africa has a very strong cricket culture. They love their cricket, like and
Hmm.
if you see even in the summers test matches में जो भी है लोग आके देखते हैं. It's not like कि पूरा empty जाता. People come and watch uh, in their season. They come
Hmm.
watch even when the World Cups are hosted there. The stadiums are packed, man, in South Africa. So they
Yeah,
have
it's
a
a good
very strong
environment.
cricket
Yeah.
culture. And
अच्छा है,
yeah,
I 100%.
sorry.
But आप कुछ बोल रहे थे उसके पहले.
नहीं मैं वुमेन्स आईपीएल का देखे कॉन्ट्रा वो जो था लाइक डील. It's
नहीं.
huge deal, man. It's going to be crazy. There's going to be an auction, I think,
Hmm.
in February. But it's कितने की करोड़ से? I think Ibrahim Bhai can tell us exactly the amount. But I was reading some articles and also I was listening to some podcasts. This is going to change the women's game forever. First of all, the timing is great because there's a women's T20 World Cup starting next month. You have the under 19, but now then you have the senior women's T20, and then you have the auction, and then you'll have the women's IPL. In that, you'll have like Alisa Healy maybe playing for Mumbai or potentially opening with Smriti Mandana. And now the Indians
Hmm.
women team, if they do well in this World Cup, if they win this World Cup, for example, the watch the amount of interest in the IPL, women's IPL, there's going to be a lot. I'm telling you
I
from now.
guess. Yeah,
So I think the
100%.
timing is
Yeah.
very good, and the deal that they cracked is outstanding for the women's game. It's a huge improvement, and the money which is being pumped in, the broadcast deal, the TV rights, it's going to be incredible, and hopefully we'll get to see crowds coming in. I'm sure they will, but yeah, it's great for women's cricket, and I'm excited to see a women's IPL. I'll be very honest with you, and also opens up opportunities not just for the cricketers themselves, but like people working in the business. You'll have like data analyst positions. You'll have other things. You can also be apply if you want as an analyst,
Hmm.
or I'll apply as a kitman, like or something like that. So there's always options. It creates jobs as well. And
Hmm.
because the women's game is picking up, it's being televised, and people are taking interest. Big media houses cover the women's World Cup. I feel that it's going to be a thing. Look at this broadcast deal. देखो amount.
Ooh.
पैसा 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 करती है, तो ऐसा
Hmm.
है हिसाब. तो
लेकिन
उस हिसाब
स्पीकिंग ऑफ द वुमेन्स क्रिकेट जो तरीके से पिकअप कर रहा है, इवन इस अंडर 19 वर्ल्ड कप अगर आप देख रहे, आई वाज रीडिंग आल्सो के बांग्लादेश की जो टीम है अंडर 19, दे आर ऑन 3-4-3 थिंग. दे बीट ऑस्ट्रेलिया. दे हैव ग्रुप ऑफ डेथ तो नहीं बोलेंगे, बट ऑस्ट्रेलिया अंडर 19 को मारे, श्रीलंका अंडर 19 को मारे, यूएस को तो आई थिंक मारती है. बट लाइक ऑस्ट्रेलिया जिस तरीके की टीम है, जिस तरीके का उन लोग का क्रिकेटिंग कल्चर है, बांग्लादेश इज एटलीस्ट डेवलपिंग their women cricketers very fast, and काफी जबरदस्त प्रदर्शन हुआ है उनके क्रिकेट में
And
से,
this
एंड
is the first
पाकिस्तान एट
also,
द
right?
सेम टाइम एज वेल.
This is the first also under 19 World Cup kabhi hua nahi. And you mentioned Bangladesh. I mean, they're doing an incredible job. But we're seeing teams like Rwanda, we're seeing Indonesia. Like
Rwanda,
I
yeah.
never knew these teams play like cricket. And the thing they're getting a chance on this level is really good. And at a young age, right? So now
Yeah.
these women will develop and go and play for the senior teams and be better, and they'll be able to compete across the world. So I think this concept of under 19 Women's World Cup should have come a bit earlier, but now that it's here, I'm all for it. One thing I was
Hmm.
listening to a podcast between with Gerard Kimber. He was hosting it with Bharat Sundaresan. One interesting thing that they said that maybe instead of under 19, they should have under 21 World Cup because उसमें क्या होता है आपके fringe players भी रहते जो trying to knock into the team like someone for example right now I don't know what you would say but like maybe a Deval Brevis who's 20, 21 and then you have your under 19 players. I think the quality of cricket will improve as well. So maybe that will be good. Or you have like a junior World Cup at 21 and under or 22 and under. So that's a good
Hmm.
concept as well that I think that can be looked at in the future.
Yeah, I think it
So
give a lot of good platform to the people who are like stuck in the middle के भाई टीम में नहीं मिल रही जगह and stuff like that.
because क्या
Probably
होता
उन
है
लोग को
under
काफी
19
जगह मिल सकता.
sorry to cut you there, but under 19 to senior cricket बहुत बड़ा step हो जाता है. अगर 21
Hmm.
लिए तो थोड़ा और फिर competition और बढ़ता और competitive रहता because 21 you're older, you're more mature also physically as well.
Hmm.
You're at a stage where you can compete with 25, 26 year olds. Like you become
Yeah,
that level.
yeah, yeah.
19 you're still very fresh. You दाढ़ी भी नहीं है कुछ भी नहीं रहता like unless you're a hairy kid like that's different. But you know what I mean. You're not fully matured. तो उस
Yeah,
हिसाब से
yeah.
I think that's a good concept. I would say, but yeah, back to women's cricket. I think the IPL deal is outstanding. You see that 951 crores
And like you
that
mentioned,
went
I
by.
think the timing is
Incredible.
key over here. Like जिस तरीके से India का they've been performing very well. The women's circuit has become more popular than what it was a few years ago. Smriti Mandania, Shafali Verma, Richa Ghosh, these guys now people really look up to them. And it took a long time from जिस तरीके से पहले जो कैप्टन थे अपने उनका नाम भूल रहा हूँ मैं.
Mithali Raj,
Mithali Raj, and these guys they sort of worked hard,
Hyderabad
hard,
se
hard, and
Hyderabad se
she got it till here. These guys got it till here, and nobody knew
Yeah,
it. But now you hear these names, and now you have girls aspiring to become cricketers, and they want to take it up as a full career option,
yeah,
and that's
100%.
just good to see that.
Great, great. And this is the comment of the stream. पाकिस्तान तो 21 साल के लड़के खिला रहे हैं अंडर 19 में. भाई पॉसिबिलिटी है मैं रूल आउट नहीं कर रहा हूँ ये हो सकता है भाई क्या मालूम.
अभी 100 फॉर नो लॉस जीते थे ये लोग लास्ट मैच आई थिंक जिम्बाब्वे से. बट या आई थिंक वही है ना भाई. अब इन वियर्ड वे लाइक हर जगह ही होता है अपने सब कॉन्टिनेंट में एटलीस्ट के
But I
आप एक
hope
एज
now,
बता
man,
के एज
with
करते हैं.
like social media, this, that, and everything. I hope now it still doesn't happen,
Social,
man.
nothing can be anything can be made today, man. Everything is scammable in this era as well, and it's more easier with the advanced level of technology.
I guess, but yeah, I don't know why that's still happening.
But I mean, it's
Uh,
not confirmed. Not to like anyone who's watching us don't believe. Like, there's no official thing that Pakistan 21 साल के लड़के हैं उनको खिला रहे. Maybe it's just like, it's just how हवा में बातें हैं आप लोग कहीं समझेंगे. But no, this अभी तक तो कुछ news नहीं है. To be very honest,
Chirag was
safe है.
spreading rumors.
Yeah,
But let's end the show with your favorite Test cricket. Who you think is the best Test cricketer and your favorite Test cricketer. Two different answers. Make it easier for you.
favorite Test cricketer.
Yeah.
What was the what and
For you, the best Test cricketer
only one सवाल ना. Best Test cricketer.
and your favorite. Two different players.
Best Test cricketer for me is Brian Lara. For me,
So you want me to go or you want to continue?
go
So I'd say
say your best. Say your best.
Jack Ellis.
Jack Callis. Brian Lara because भाई उन्हें जो करा टेस्ट में and from where he was hailing and stuff, the record that he set, uh, delight to watch in crunch situation. Obviously, people will say he was selfish against England, but yeah, अरे मेरे क्या मुस्ती भाई. हाँ भाई ये चिराग भाई बहुत यूजुअल चीज है इंडिया में. आई एम टेलिंग यू. हैदराबाद में भी काफी टूर्नामेंट्स में होता है फुटबॉल के टूर्नामेंट्स पे अंडर 19 अंडर 21 अंडर 23 होते बट 27 के भी लोग खेलते 30 के भी लोग खेलते. सो इट्स वेरी इजी टू डू इट. But yeah, Musa, your best test you said Calais. And who's your favorite?
Jack Ellis. Jack Callis, because man, like with the bat, outstanding. Such a good player. So many hundreds with the ball. He's very underrated bowler. Bro. The guy can used to hit 140 also.
Hmm.
My favorite, Abdur Razak, I rate him really highly, bro. I'm telling you, these guys take him very lightly. Abdur Razak, khatarnak
Abdul
देता.
was phenomenal, man. Like he would come and just smack. उन्हें थोड़ा
He
crack
was
था. Honestly, punter by I'll tell you, it was very weird for me because at any given day अगर उसका बल्ला चल गया उन्हें कुछ भी कर सकता था या उन्हें बैठ
भाई
जाता
उसका
था. उसके
स्पेल याद
मूड
नहीं
पे
है
रहता
वो
था. हाँ,
क्रिकेट क्लासेस में
वसीम भाई
दिखाते
विकेट,
10
वसीम भाई विकेट आई विकेट.
स्पेल याद है क्या था स्पेल में क्या हो रहा था क्या थी श्रीलंका का स्कोर वो टाइम पे
3 नहीं 3 तो नहीं था.
190 कुछ चेज कर रहे थे श्रीलंका 160
हाँ,
पर वन कुछ थे और अब्दुल रज्जाक भाई आगे फाइवर लिए भाई वो जीत
5
गया पाकिस्तान वो
5
मैच
for 35, 5 for 35 or
मेरे को
65.
याद नहीं है मगर वो
Something like
10
that.
बार देखा गेम में वो
आप वो
टेंशन
क्रिकेट क्लासिक्स तो दिन भर चलता था भाई और कुछ रहता भी नहीं था जब देखने को.
वैसा
वो और
स्पेल दिखाओ मेरे को
वो और सचिन तेंदुलकर का सेंचुरी इन द कोका कोला कप से शेन वॉर्न को जो डाउन द ग्राउंड आके छक्का मारा था वो एवरी डे वही
हाँ
टेलीकास्ट होता था वो चीज.
yeah. My favorite test cricketer I'll tell you like growing up, my favorite cricketer was Azharuddin. That's why I was watching the game. I used to love him. But my favorite Test cricketer, who made me fall in love with Test cricket in particular, is very out of the it's out of the box because he didn't have a consistent career. But any guesses, Fez? I can. You got one guess. I'm not gonna let you guess
Uh,
more than one. I gave you
he
a
made
hint.
you
A hint of
he made you fall in love with
with
Test
Test
cricket,
cricket. Yeah.
and what was the hint?
That he made me fall in love with Test cricket.
Okay, was it from this era or like the era before?
भाई आपके पास एक guess है आप बोल दो मेरे को
हाँ तो गेस के लिए भी कुछ होना ना गेस.
First, if he made me fall in love with Test cricket, how long I've been watching cricket? You do the math.
A lot, like at least 28 20 no 28 to 25 years 20 I think Flintoff.
तुम cheating कर रहे हैं.
Yeah,
He
Freddie
made me fall in
Flintoff.
love with Test. भाई he knows more than you bro about me. तुम तो मेरे साथ कितने साल
तुम
में रहे.
भाई तुम 23 साल से क्रिकेट देख रहे, तुम्हारा हर कोई शो में एक नया आ जाता, मेरे क्या मालूम. एक टाइम पे फ्लिंटॉफ था, एक टाइम पे पीटरसन था, फिर एक टाइम पे मैथ्यू हेडन हो गया था 380
नहीं
के
नहीं.
बाद. उसके बाद इंडिया का कोहली है,
Can you
स्टीव
hear
स्मिथ
me?
है, कल सेंचुरी हो रहा था. नहीं, फिर आप मैट्रिक्स में तो काफी बदलते रहते हैं मुस्तफा के पंटर भाई. बढ़िया फ्लिंटॉफ आफ्टर दैट एशेज सीरीज आई थिंक 2005 2006 this guy Mustafa used to come down, used to bowl and used to do this a lot. He used to do the head bang that Flintoff used to do. He used to do it a
Can you
lot.
hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि मैथ्यू हेडन was in my Test 11. He was never my favorite player. I never was never my favorite player.
तुम्हारा
I think
एक एक गिनते गिनते 11 बन गया पिंडा.
bro Andrew Flintoff वो जो Ashes का जो
I know
सीरीज है
that ball and then that standing in
yeah.
that thing. You used to do it
गिलक्रिस्ट
much.
को एक बॉल डाला था उन्हें वो हारे थे मैच पहले टेस्ट मैच में और पॉन्टिंग का जो स्पेल था एंड देन जैक कैलिस को स्पेल डाला था उन्हें आई थिंक 2-3 साल बाद इनक्रेडिबल वो एंड्रू
Yeah,
फ्लिंटॉफ
even beast man. उसके एक्सीडेंट के बाद क्या है कि अपडेट कुछ आया नहीं, but yeah,
no
hopefully
nothing. I hope he's okay man but that guy was just incredible man but you guys
should
let us
beat,
know as well Chirag bhai saying Gilchrist and Ponting
it,
bro good call huh
very good call.
guys
Destructive and
your favorite
my favorite.
पतले गली में से चले जा रहे
You
yes
should know me, man. You know me for so much time. You should know.
I can I'll take 3 guesses very quickly okay
Yeah,
Sachin
like,
Tendulkar Virat Kohli Saeed Anwar
yeah, it's the Virat Kohli for me. I think Virat Kohli will be best.
Virat Kohli huh
Yeah, Sachin Tendulkar is good, but like abhi Virat Kohli ka alag, I don't know. Mera I think mindset match
good
hota
is
Virat
understatement bro
means very very good obviously, but my mindset just matches with Virat Kohli. I guess that's why.
yeah final thoughts anyone have final questions let us know we'll
Chirag bhai saying 3-2 India versus Wales. Yeah, hockey chal raha hai, 3-2 chal raha hai, India versus Wales. India back the blues, back the blue sticks. I don't know what their slogan is, but yeah, काफी coverage चल रही है उसकी.
so what is the
India wins
position
World Cup.
now of India in the table bro
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I'm not been following, but yeah, I was
I'm
just
gonna
looking
start
at the
watching
scores.
I'm gonna
You
start
should
watching
actually.
from now from then in next 5 minutes I will watch India is winning 3-2 it's the fourth quarter right now they're in pool D so what does the table look like but yeah we'll start following and we'll discuss hockey as well it's going to be fun
Yeah, right now India is like second. They've played 2 and they won 1 and drew 1.
they drew one as well
So yeah, and England is on top of their table.
Best team Australia है नहीं? Is Komal
best team
Chautala
abhi.
playing?
No, I think she's injured because Molly Simic is replacing her.
Don't talk about football, bro. I forgot. My
Oh
heart
my god!
broke
Yesterday ke
yesterday.
baad, man, my
A lot of things
head is
broke
hurting.
yesterday.
We Mustafa bhai on live thing. I mean, he broke like one of the plates in Kana. I mean, he broke the plate. He was pissed off.
Yeah, by accident. It's just a reaction, bro. But like, yeah, I'm unlike Fez. Like Fez is only looking at his FPL players, clean sheet, Luke Shaw. Yeah, well, I was my team got the most points this week. I didn't care. I didn't care. But it's about team first. वो कैसा था वो
When Bruno scored, this guy was more happy about his FPL team than Bruno
मैं
scoring.
क्या reaction दिया when Bruno scored?
Yes, man. Bruno, ये कहने दो.
I just did Alhamdulillah. That's all I did. I didn't do anything. When
Oh my
he got the yellow card, what was my reaction? When
God.
Casemiro got the yellow card,
Everyone's reaction was the same thing. Even
my
I was
reaction was
upset when
worse than the
yeah,
goal,
the
like
goal.
the
Obviously. Yeah,
excitement for the
everyone
goal.
was pissed off. Everyone was pissed off because we know he's not going to play against Arsenal.
So City versus Spurs
But
prediction. I think City will smash them, bro. Like probably 3-0.
I feel Spurs is out for redemption, so it's going to probably Spurs is going to win 2-1. I have a
But
feeling
Spurs do play good against City.
against
That's one thing I'll
City.
give them. But man, what I saw against Arsenal, that was too pick up. But again, City's form is also not that good. So you could be well and truly right. I just feel that City, they need to get serious now because the title is still within grasp. If they start like messing up right
Yeah.
now,
And
Arsenal
if
will win.
anybody scores from City, let it be Riyad Mahrez because Ashish is right behind me, right ahead of me, like 8 points ahead of me.
Riyad Mahrez. So everyone has KDB, Haaland captain, and everything, right?
Yeah. But yeah, you were the only one who took Bruno and captained him. You were that smart, mashallah. You had a good punt.
No, that's a tukka, man. You have
Yeah.
to do that's how I play FPL. I take risks, and like
Okay.
99% it doesn't work. It
I
works
took
one.
Martial. इससे बड़ा risk क्या है?
He didn't captain him. Risk है तो जब
I
तुम
didn't.
जो captain करते हो उसको.
मैं उसको
वो
रखा
उसको
वही
risk.
बड़ा ही risk
For
है.
example, last year Salah का चल रहा था, right? Everyone triple captain Salah. Me and TK we triple captain KDB. It's a risk, but it paid off. When that's how I play. I play. So that's why I'll be towards the bottom of the table. Then I'll jump up like this. Then I'll go back bottom again because I'll start. I gamble a lot. Like I mean, not like physically gamble with money. I gamble in my strategies.
Living life on the edge.
Yeah, I live life on the edge in fantasy football. So that's the fun, right? Like if you someone
Yeah,
like a Bruno
100%.
scores,
And that's what hopefully when IPL comes, we can do the same thing with IPL and make our teams and it's going to be fun.
IPL also. So you know,
IPL
like
में हाँ
if whenever I go for if I ever go or whenever I go, like if someone asks me, like if I go for a Rishta, for example, or my future father-in-law asks me what is your biggest achievements in life, I will say two things. One is I captained Pollard against CSK, and the other thing I triple captain Kevin De Bruyne. Those are my two biggest achievements.
and
I
now
don't
this
know.
one and add this one Bruno game week double.
Yeah, that was still one more goal would have been better, but yeah, that was a good achievement.
Yeah, Pollard
Pollard
captain against
captain, yeah,
CSK.
Punter remembers that very well. कौन सा था मालूम उन्हें 2 विकेट लिया था चेन्नई के अगेंस्ट पे आके फोड़ दिया था
Yeah.
when the game was out of reach he came and hit like what 80 of 30 80 of 40
40,
balls. Oof, that was incredible feeling, man. But yeah, first final thoughts. Saturday is the next game, so we have a better time for
Saturday
India.
is the next game.
You
I
can
think
go do your gym before the football. Messi versus Ronaldo. I'm going to watch my team play now. Sunrisers.
there's
So,
also another series that's been announced. I think it's going to come start on the. I know it's not a very lucrative one, but it's Zimbabwe versus West Indies. I think it's starting from 27th January, if I'm not wrong. And then there's England and South Africa that's going to start. And it
after
is
the
an
T20
interesting
league,
one.
right?
Sorry?
That's
Yeah,
after the T20 league.
after the T20 league, I think.
Hmm.
But
so
yeah, week अभी Saturday तो it'll be interesting how New Zealand jump back. One question I had with regarding to Kane Williamson, do you think the drop was right, or do you think they should have carried on with Kane Williamson
drop him from what?
from this ODI squad, New Zealand, as from a New Zealand perspective, like Kane Williamson being in the middle, would it have been obviously it would have been a plus point.
He's
There's no
not dropped.
argument. Man, he's not there also, right, in the squad.
What was the reason? It was rest, right, or injury or
I
something?
think it was rest. Him and Saudi were rested, but like with the given context of how they just played in Pakistan, he would have been a better asset in the middle, right? So do
No,
you
I think
think
it's
like
I think it's fine because look, Williamson is a very experienced player. I don't think him missing a series is not a big issue. The main goal will be
I'm just
the
saying
World.
the like देखो आप इंडिया में वर्ल्ड कप खेलने वाले हैं एंड आप इंडिया के अगेंस्ट जैसी टीम को अगेंस्ट खेल रहे हैं, आप पाकिस्तान के अगेंस्ट इतना फुल फ्लेज टीम लेके गए, एक एक सीन पे में भी वहां पे आप रिस्क करा सकते थे, प्रॉब्ली बैलेंस द वर्कलोड बेटर. I'm just looking at that way maybe, and you're playing India, which is a slightly better team, not slightly, well, we're far worlds apart right now, but in terms of India and Pakistan, like I would have played Kane Williamson in the series more than I would have in against Pakistan. So I think it is a big miss also, right, to a very big extent.
Yeah, it's a big miss, but the thing is, like, he it gives somebody else a chance as well, because there's going to be a future without Williamson, and if they're starting it now in Indian conditions, why not? The World Cup is there. It will add to your squad depth if someone like a Chapman or a Nichols perform. It will give them confidence, because, for example, agar World Cup mein Williamson kuch ho gaya, khuda na khasta, if he gets injured for a game, you have Latham who can step up as captain, then you have another player coming in. So I don't really mind. I look at it as the positive way, and if he's taking a break, then very good. He can come back fit, and he's been New Zealand's captain for a long time. He has the experience, and he's not going to miss out too much by missing this series. I don't think it's a big deal. And they played really well without him yesterday. I felt that, yeah, there were certain things that Latham could have done better, but overall, the game went to the wire, so it's fine.
Makes sense. Ibrahim Bhai said England versus South Africa next week. T20 is a week. There's a week long break.
Bro, South Africa is the place to be right now, man. All the cricket is over there. Remember,
And
you're
all,
lucky man, that you're in South Africa, the Proteas. Can you let us know in South Africa? Because my friend just went to South Africa last summer, and he said it was the best food that he ever had in Cape Town, and the best city that he's ever been to is Cape Town. So can you just tell us about what the famous dishes are in South Africa, in particular in Cape Town? And yeah, hopefully when we'll try to come and watch some cricket over there, try to cover a tour in the future. So it'll be good to know. I'm not exactly sure what is popular in South Africa, but I heard a lot about the place, especially Cape Town. I heard is one of the best cities in the world.
या चाचू 100 मार दिए बांग्लादेश प्रीमियर लीग में, फोड़ दिया. आई थिंक 145 balls कुछ मारे चाचू फॉर द फॉर्च्यून बरीशल, एंड दे स्कोर्ड 238 टारगेट.
चाचू को
अभी
वनडे खिलाना, मैं बोल रहा हूँ तुम्हारे को, गलती
चाचू
कर रहे
145 मारे, 9 छिक्के मारे चाचू, मालूम आपको.
हो। मजाक है, नो
And
छक्के।
शाके भाई 89 मारे जी, गुस्से में
क्या
आके.
बोल रहे थे वर्ल्ड कप से पहले, क्या बोल रहे थे सब? पाकिस्तान के पास मिडिल ऑर्डर नहीं है। चाचू खड़े हैं वहां पे, मिडिल ऑर्डर उन्होंने छे पूरा मिडिल।
चाचू का ये ना, एक बार खड़े उसके बाद बैठ गए फिर.
नहीं यार, वो अच्छे प्लेयर है, लाइट ले लेते उन लोग।
प्लेयर अच्छे है, बट आई थिंक वही फील्ड में लाइबिलिटी है शायद उनको थोड़े. बट या अभी 150 फ्रॉम 50 बॉल्स चाहिए है रंगपुर राइडर्स को. इट लुक्स लाइक अ लॉस्ट कॉज, बट yeah, that's where BPL is from. And yeah, like I was saying man, ये काफी domestically अभी बहुत चीज़ है मसला. like the two arguments, like एक तरीके से अच्छा भी है domestic leagues, एक तरीके से बुरा भी है domestic league. As a viewer it's annoying because there's so many matches back to back. like आप इंडिया का मैच देखो, फिर आप साउथ अफ्रीका का मैच देखो, फिर आप IL T20 देखो, फिर आप ये देखो, फिर आप वो देखो. From that aspect it is annoying, but from a team perspective, yeah, future of a country's cricketing ability, it is good. So like, how do you look at it?
It's a lot of cricket, man. I think there should be one league at a time, thoda sa aram. But I know that there's not enough window, because after this you have the PSL, then you have the IPL. So they
IPL.
want to do everything right now. All the leagues want to go on right now. But for me, I feel that
Then you have the Asia Cup maybe, and so scrimmaging in between the World Cup.
थोड़ा मजा खत्म हो जाता है उस हिसाब से, right? Like for example, if it was just SA T20 and you had international matches going on, you can focus on that league and you can watch like India play against Australia or India playing New Zealand and whatever. You could balance it out. But here you have a match right now. There's a game going on in Sharjah, and where then you have a game in 2 minutes just starting, which is in South Africa. You have the Bangladesh game which is going on right now. So there's too much cricket. There's too many play, and क्या बोलते हैं उसको, saturate हो जाता है cricket ऐसा अगर करते गए तो. That's just my opinion. I feel that try to make it a bit more unique. Have one league at a time. I know it's difficult, but it should be thing. At the same time, you see football कितना रहता, रोज रहता football. So but we're still addicted. So maybe they're trying to implement that kind of thing where you have a all league system. But I just feel with cricket it's a bit more difficult, because football you still have so many more players, so many more clubs.
Global following. Be like I was telling you the same thing yesterday, day in and day out, and then you told me a good thing. The city also backs the city or whatever area.
It's the
पूरे आके देखते, because वो ना support करता था. ये नहीं कि भाई वहाँ धोनी है तो आप वहाँ धोनी के fan भी है तो आप आज तो वो उसके वजह से भी crowds कम नहीं दिखते अपने को. हर stadium full रहता है people. And again the transport system in the UK is better. Obviously आप stadium to stadium travel कर सकते हैं. बहुत चीजें हैं भाई. You cannot compete probably with a football, but Yeah, it's a long way to go, and cricket को global sport बनाने में तो बहुत time लगने वाला है, because a lot of people don't understand the dynamics of
Yeah,
the game.
also, like, if you see, for example, if there's like for three divisions, right? Like, for let's say Fulham. The Fulham last year they're playing the championship. I was following the championship, last few years I followed that because
Leagues.
yeah, not only it was like I had to for work, but also I developed interest in it. If you notice, the crowds are full in the championship, and they're
Yeah.
full now also when they're doing well. Uh,
And
like,
I
so
think
when
those are 10 more matches, 40 matches खेलते हैं ना.
yeah, so like they back their team wherever they are. It doesn't matter. हम लोग, like, I've seen, like, especially in cricket or in the Indian culture, that we get upset when our team, like, then we lose interest when our team is not doing well,
Yeah.
including myself. I'm not taking myself out of the question, but I'm trying to change. Now I'm changing because it's part of our thing. We have to, like, cover everything as much as we can. Lekin if you notice, interest अब United अच्छा खेल रही है, हम लोग कितना passion के साथ जा रहे हैं. Crystal Palace last year we didn't have the same motivation, right? So it's like that. But these guys, Birmingham City, they're not in the thing right now. But these guys were in
Yeah.
the Premier League one time. You go to the ground, it'll be full in the championship game. Sunderland, these guys,
Backing.
they
Mm.
back their teams, and they stick to the team. For example, now if Fulham is playing United, they don't care. They're going to back Fulham. They don't care what's a thing. You go to Sunrisers game, if Dhoni's in town, that's it, bro. You're going to see majority people from Hyderabad supporting Chennai.
Yeah, that culture वही है, it's मुश्किल है, and yeah, काफी
It's different.
चीज़ें मुश्किल लगता है यार. क्या
भाई
ईस्टर्न के जाएगा मेरी टीम
भाई
तो
मैं
जाएगी.
पहले ही समझा नहीं जाएंगे, मगर दो मैच जीत गए बैक टू बैक. अब मैच शुरू हो गया तो वो भी देखेंगे कैसा खेलेंगे आज. लेकिन कल का परफॉर्मेंस मुंबई के अगेंस्ट, मुंबई केप टाउन के अगेंस्ट, एमआई केप टाउन, दैट वाज इनक्रेडिबल. एंड उसमें आर्चर रबाडा दोनों खेल रहे थे भाई, राशिद भी था. और ऐसा चेस करना, 5 डाउन 6 डाउन थे, 101 for 6 थे, टू टेक द स्कोर देयर. मार्को यानसन, हैट्स ऑफ. एंड I'm really enjoying the way they're playing. Sunrise is always in the heart. I think अगर Kane होता तो New Zealand would have lost big margin. His strike rate is too slow. Look, that's also a possibility. But if you notice in that game against Pakistan, his strike rate was a bit slow, but they managed to win in the end because of Glenn Phillips. So I know where you're coming from. But Williamson, if he stayed, I still feel he could have chased that down. He is someone who can accelerate at times.
अरे
भाई
गुरनूर पाजी आ गए.
भाई किधर है भाई? जमाने के बाद दिख रहे हैं आप भाई. कितने पाजी की हाल चाल है? सब ठीक ठाक. Siraj continues. This who will be the third seamer in World Cup T20? Bumrah, Siraj, or
उमरान और रजदीप for left-hander angle.
I think it'll be Siraj, Umran Malik, and Prasidh Krishna. क्या रहती है?
Prasidh Krishna is fit.
What about Deepak Chaha? We don't know, man. I don't know. It's a bit early to tell, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. I think that wraps it up, Fez. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. Really appreciate all your comments and questions. Hopefully, we'll join you tomorrow, and then we'll preview the India game. Is on Saturday, right? So we'll preview that and get you the latest from the press conferences and whatever goes on there. And we'll also review the leagues which are going on, and if there's any
आज PSG versus Al Nassr है, Ronaldo versus Messi है, for people who forgot. तो देख सकते हैं आप PSG versus Al Nassr. Hopefully exhibition match है, but yeah, it's good to see the two legends on the field.
This is everyone thought that the GOAT debate will be settled with Messi wins the World Cup, but who knew that the GOAT debate will be settled today in my home country, in the country that I was born in Saudi Arabia.
It's Lionel Messi versus Ronaldo, and then Kylian Mbappe versus Salim Al Dawsari.
I'm interested to see कि वो क्या लाइनअप्स क्या होने वाले स्टार्ट कर रहा है. ऐसा रोनाल्डो बेंच हो गया तो
नहीं, he's the captain.
कैप्टन बेंच हो गया तो
क्या आप खिला रहे टीम को?
मतलब
आप कुछ भी कर सकते हैं मैनेजर, बट हर कोई आपको ऐसे नहीं सोचता.
नहीं बेंच मतलब in the middle of the game what if he gets benched?
नहीं, that's not man. People are paying from a 10 real ticket to a 15 to a 20 real ticket to see him. I don't think that's possible.
It's only 10 real the ticket?
I think it was 15. They raised it to 15.
मत कर दे रहे भाई. Why are we not there, bro?
You tell me. You were there a few days ago. वालेकुम सलाम आदम भाई, खैर से.
कैसे हैं?
ठाकुर मेरा गोलू ही खेलेगा. अच्छा, शार्दुल ठाकुर. अरे अभी हम घूम रहे हैं कभी कहीं की तलाश में. मिल जाएगा काम, टेंशन मत लीजिए. थोड़ा ब्रेक लीजिए और चेजिंग द टारगेट देख लीजिए. कैसा ऐड बना दिए हैं.
फैज भी घूर रहे हैं. पीशा पी डाउन बेबी.
पीशा बेबी. पीशा पीशॉ का बट पीशॉ का यही है, थोड़े हैबिट्स नहीं हो जाना बस।
अरे it's about
वो
talent.
डोंट पी शॉ है मसला, डोंट पी। बट नहीं, आई
Bro,
मीन ही इज अ फैंटास्टिक
you
क्रिकेटर,
remember Chicago
379 वन
Bulls?
ऑन।
You
या
remember Chicago
या
Bulls?
उसका नाम क्या, डेनिस रॉडमैन क्या बोल रहे हैं आप?
क्या
कार्डिया
क्या
एंड
था?
बट उसका स्टैमिना भी कैसा था, उन्हें फिट भी कैसा था।
That's what I'm
आई
saying.
रिमेम्बर
Let him
उसका
be,
एक
bro.
किस्सा था,
Let him be.
डेनिस रॉडमैन बास्केटबॉल प्लेयर है,
Don't be like
मुस्तफा
a school principal. You can't be like this. You can't be like punter. बहुत करता है ऐसा. अरे he can't be doing this. अरे let him be, bro. Let him be match मुस्तफा गाली नहीं दे सकते मैच में, हम तो कौन बोले गाली नहीं दे सकते?
Who are you?
Who are
But
you?
definitely P-Shaw is fantastic. I just अच्छा हुआ उसको अभी कॉल अप मिला है recent performance
भाई
के
मेरा biggest
basis पे,
concern for him is the ball coming in,
ball
and
bowling.
that's my biggest concern. I don't know if he's worked on that, then definitely think Prithvi bhai.
इंजेक्शन कहीं को डाल रहे हैं भाई, वो तो गुरनूर पाजी करेंगे इंजेक्शन। गुरनूर पाजी is a nurse, I think, a male
Are
nurse.
he's talking about the other injections?
No, yeah, like I get it, but injection, I was trying to relate it, but he spoiled it. So anyway, but yeah, नहीं, he's a good, but like वही है, थोड़े बहुत नुक्स एंड कॉर्नर अगर ठीक कर लिया उन्हें and getting a
अब
call
वही
out.
है, you know, like अगर उसकी बनती नहीं, अगर उन्हें like you know, if his personality is such that he doesn't keep friends around him, there's ways to look at it. It depends on how you want to. You know, Kevin Peterson was not an easy guy to handle. Eventually, they isolated him. So it depends. You don't have to be the best of friends to play in a game. You don't have to be the nicest guy to play the game. It's just how the coaching and the team management thing. If he's knocking down the door with runs, then you have to play him. You can't do anything about it.
100%. 100%. But
Don't have
yeah,
to
now
be.
I think it's time for the match. Par Royals versus Cape Town Rises, East Cape. But yeah, Mustafa, what do you think? जीतेंगे आज Par Royals से?
अब बटलर को निकालना है भाई, बटलर ने तो मार देता हूं, अगर बटलर को निकाले तो आई थिंक दे हैव अ गुड चांस. दे आर इन फॉर्म नाउ, 2 wins in a row, so I'm hoping for the best. But they have some good players in that team, and Josh Butler is always, he plays well against Sunrisers, man. So he's one guy I'm going to watch out for.
बिल्कुल. And yes, आज रात में है मैच, I think 10:30 इंडिया के टाइम से, इंडिया वर्सेस साउथ अफ्रीका वुमेन का मैच है आज, जिस तरीके से चिराग भाई बोल रहे हैं. And yeah, so that pretty much wraps it up. हाँ,
कहाँ है मैच वो?
क्या?
साउथ अफ्रीका में.
साउथ अफ्रीका में, ईस्ट लंडन.
Oh snap! So it's the senior women, the Gyaldem.
Yes, the Gyaldem.
Yo, so it's good. They're preparing for the T20 World Cup. Infos at Tish95. Thank you so much for joining us. Pre-Shaw, Ishan Kishan, R Tripathi, Sky, Huda, Pandya, Jaddu, Aksar, Kuldeep, Bumrah, Umar, कैसी लगी एकदम blast. आखिरी लगी बात, बोले तो मौत डाल दिया आप, क्या जबरदस्त. तो ऊपर से बहुत अटैकिंग है, त्रिपाठी भी जबरदस्त है, स्काई तो फिर 360, खुदा का देखो चला तो चला, पांड्या यू नो फिटनेस डिपेंडिंग,
जड्डू फिटनेस डिपेंडिंग, बुमराह फिटनेस पेंडिंग.
आपके पास 3 लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर्स है, आप निकाल के अगर राइट हैंडर को लेके आ जाओ, मे बी, मेरे ख्याल से मे बी सुंदर, यू नो आई मीन ब्रफ.
पर पायरस 12 रन मार दिए फर्स्ट ओवर में, बाय द वे मुस्तफा. रन रेट 9 का चल रहा है. एंड आई थिंक जॉस बटलर एक पे है, जेसन रॉय एक पे, एंड जॉस बटलर 11 पे, ऑलरेडी हिट 2 बाउंड्रीज. देखना पड़ेगा, बोलो ना कब देखो, एंड होपफुली देखेंगे अपन क्या होता है आगे का.
All right, thank you so much everyone joining us, we really appreciate it. We'll catch you tomorrow. Thank you Faiz, take care. And yes, info by Huda ki jagah Sanju, that's a good shout.
उन्हें भी इंजरी प्रोन है.
That's true. So have a good night, enjoy the game today, and enjoy the football also. Messi versus Ronaldo, City versus Tottenham. It's going to be some good football, really looking forward to it. Thank you so much, have a good night. Today is the good day. We will find out who's the best football player in the world tonight.
है जी, कुछ भी रहने दो, आज रहने दो, कल रहने दो,
आज we find out in Saudi Arabia. Take care guys, good night.